Good afternoon. This is the veteran from Trini, and today my topic is I've been watching YouTube and I've seen a lot of negative comments coming out, especially out of the Philippines on other YouTubers. You know, some of the YouTubers in the Philippines and also Thailand have been accusing each other and talking smack about each other, which makes no sense at all. There's so many different things you can make content with. Why do you have to pick another YouTuber? You know, I was watching where I think this guy's funny. What's it, Grandpa, whatever his name is, Crazy Grandpa or whatever. And he is complaining about all these poor YouTubers and stuff like that taking care of these young women in the Philippines, especially the broke ones, because a lot of these expats are going over there with maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a month and trying to live like a king and trying to take advantage of these young Filipino and Thai women. And I was saying, a lot of them are now discovering Thailand. I personally discovered Thailand over 50 years ago. And when I went over there, I lived in Bangkok for a short while, then moved around to Udon Thani, Nakhon Phanom, and those places. So I knew a lot about Thailand. I lived there for basically the first 4 years, and in my early 20s, so, and I love the place. I've been trying to go back there for a while, but believe it or not, my wife is Thai, but she was not anxious to go back. So we have been to Germany, Italy, and even Korea. Spent a few years in Korea. So, but we went back there just after I had my stroke back, it was 3 years ago. And we were thinking of going in September, but we decided to postpone our trip until March. I think spring break March, because my daughter is a diagnostician and she wants to go with us, but it's kind of hard for her to get the time off, and she don't want to go to June because she said June was too hot. So we're looking at early next year. And one of the reasons I want to check out the place and see whether I want to spend any time in Thailand. No, I would not go and live there as a permanent, but I'm thinking about maybe 2 or 3 months at a time. But I want to go back over there and have my wife check out the place and see if she likes it. I'm fortunate enough that I'm retired military. Also, I retired as a Texas school administrator here in El Paso. So I have a fairly different income as far as retirement. And wherever I go, I could afford to live. Here in the United States, we live in a pretty decent life here in El Paso. But I just want to experience, So I don't think there's any country better than the United States. Being from the Caribbean, I love the Caribbean, but it's also kind of, if you're living down there, it gets kind of expensive, and plus there's so much crime in our home country, Trinidad and Tobago. Once I would love to go there and spend some time in Trinidad. But the crime condition is so bad that I I don't want to chance it. So I'm hoping in the next couple of years, because I'm getting older and it's going to get harder and harder to travel. So I'm hoping that they rectify the crime situation in Trinidad. But getting back to my topic, I am very disappointed that so many expats are making negative comments about each other. There's other ways to get viewership. Just talk about the island, the people. There's so many things, not about each expat and whether they're drunk, they're old men trying to get young ladies or not, calling them losers. That's that's not right. Everybody's trying to live the best life possible. Some people have more fun than others, but that doesn't mean they're a bad person or they're losers. You know, you're right. A lot of old men are going over here looking for young women, and also there's a lot of scamming going on. There's a lot of guys going over there and getting their hat broken because they go over there and they think they're a millionaire for a while and pulling money left and right. And some of these young ladies are just scamming them out of their life savings. You know, I was watching here in YouTube where one gentleman in Thailand lost $280,000 in 18 months, and he had to go home. He had to beg for money to go home. You know, a lot of these guys are not realizing that women everywhere will try to scam you. It doesn't make a difference whether in the Philippines or in Thailand. A lot of women just use men to get what they can, and it's not just women in Asia. You know, I was fortunate that when I went to Asia, I was a young man, and whatever money I was getting that month, that was it. You know, and I lived a good life and had some fun and traveled all over the country. Because when we were living in MKP and Udon, we would get on C-130s and fly down to Bangkok every once in a while and go have some fun. You know, those were the good old days. You know, because I love Thai food. My wife is a good cook, and she cooks whatever I want. She's a good woman, but the only weakness I have with my wife, and it's part of the Thai culture, she loves to gamble, and you have to be very careful with some of these women because, you know, what I did early in my marriage was separate our accounts. You know, whenever she needs money, I put it in her account. But she is like that. If I give her a couple $100, 1 or 2 days later is all gone. You know, so I have to hand it out to her very carefully. You know, but that's one of the things. They live survive. You know, she believes that whatever happens tomorrow, but she believes in living for the day. You know, but that's just the way things are with some people. You know, we could have been, you know, we've lost a lot of money, yes. She had wasted a lot of money, but I had to tolerate that because I knew how she was when I married her. I still choose to do this, so I have nobody but to blame, you know. But I've been able to save for both of us so we could take trips whenever we want to. You know, we raised four kids. I own my own house in El Paso. So we're doing okay. You know, I have good credit. I don't need it, but I have good credit. But getting back, we all have to learn how to get along. You know, expats, whenever I go somewhere and I see expat or when I'm traveling, I'm always happy, you know, I'm always happy to greet Americans and anywhere I've go, you know, especially if I've traveled a few times to Europe. And anytime I see American, I'm always happy to see a fellow traveler. Right now, I'm kind of excited because my first time in my life, I've seen so many Black Americans traveling, which does my heart real well. You know, because I remember in the days it was just getting on a plane and I felt like, wow, where are my people at? But now, anytime I go, there's also a bunch of Black people. I'm happy for that. It's good to see Black Americans traveling, and it took a long time, you know. But some of them are going overseas, and they've just barely eking out an existence. If you want to travel to one of these foreign countries, get yourself a good income, save some money, have a retirement plan, because these guys, a lot of these young guys are going overseas and not thinking about a retirement. YouTube probably won't last that much longer. So you can't, it's not guaranteed income. I don't make no income from money from YouTube. I don't need to, you know, because all that would do is put me in a higher income tax bracket. So I do this because I like, you know, I like talking. I'm speaking to other people. So YouTubers, let's try to be nice to each other. People are trying their best to live the best life they can, especially some of the older guys. You know, when they go overseas, I mean, that we are in our twilight years. We don't know how much longer we're gonna live. So let us live our life in peace. Don't call us losers, you know, because we travel to Asia or the Philippines or what have you. You know, it's great. Well, you know, one of the things, my subscribers have been kind of slow for a while. You know, but I'm getting ready to hit my first real mark of, I'm at 499 subscribers. So I'm halfway to my 1,000. So if you see this video and you would like to help me, subscribe. Again, this is the veteran from Trinity Prince. Have a great day.